Hello and welcome to the 2024 NWAC Softball Championship Tournament live here from Delta Park as we bring you game number 1 of this tournament between the number 2 seed Mount Hood Saints and the number 15 seed Yakima Valley Yaks. We'll get to the starting lineups in just a second, but first for the visiting team Yakima Valley, they come into this tournament finishing with a record of 10 and 32, 6 and 22 in conference play. They lost their last 7 in a row, but they still were able to qualify for this tournament as the number 15 seed. And only the number 16 seed Grays Harbor is the 1 seed below them. For the Mount Hood Saints, they are the 2 seed in this tournament. The only team better than them was the number 1 seed North Idaho Cardinals. Mount Hood finished with a record of 41 and 4 on the year. 24 and 4 in conference play. They are Southern Division champions for the second time in 3 seasons. And they come into this tournament off a 2-game winning streak, which was their 2 final games against Centralia back on May 10th, which was 6 days ago. Starting lineup for the visiting team, Yakima Valley Yaks. First batting will be number 00, Alyssa Soski, followed by number 11, Glory Estabrook. Third will be number 3, Madison Kennedy. Fourth will be number 24, Emma Stamp. Number 5 will be number 9, Linnea Butler. Batting 6th will be number 8, Claire DeVries. Batting 7th will be number 23, Mackenzie Taylor. And batting 8 will be number 18, Avery Olausen. And batting 9th will be number 2, Grace Estabrook. And batting 10th will be number 1, Jocelyn Simmons. In the field for the Mount Hood Saints, starting pitcher will be number 10, Bella Carrazzo. Behind the plate will be number 1, Izzy Brockmiller. On first base, we will have number 26, Peyton Foreman. On second base, we'll have number 33, Madison Walker. At third base, we will have number 9, Sarah Martin. At shortstop, we will have number 44, Gina Allen. In left field, we will have number 11, Hope Burke. In center field, number 7, Ava Carroll. And number 12, Kaylee Davis in right field. The Yakima Valley Yaks are led by their head coach, Jason Weatherly, and assistant coach, Dana Colby. As for the Mount Hood Saints, they are led by their head coach, Brittany Hendrickson, and assistants, Taylor Gould, Kayla Gron, and Ryan Snoutsky. We are just moments away from first pitch here at Delta Park as we get the umpires for today's game. At home plate, we will have Katrina Barber. 2 base umpires for today's game. At first base will be Josh Francis, and third base will be Kenny Mitchell. Saints, of course, were in this tournament last year where they won 3 games, lost 2, dropped their first as the 5 seed to number 12, Lower Columbia. That was a 7-3 final. Then they finished day 1 with a 9-8 win against Spokane. That one took extra innings going into 8. Day 2, they won their first 2 games, defeating Walla Walla 12-2 in 5 innings and defeating Columbia Basin 8-3, and then losing to Bellevue to end their season. In all the games they played on this field last year, or at this complex last year, they did not play on this field. So it will be interesting to see them play on field 2 for the first time, as I don't believe anyone played on this field last year for the tournament. We are just ready for first pitch as Bella Carrazzo is in the set. And it is number 00, Alyssa Soski, to start it off as the first pitch is down and swing and a miss. It's 0-1. So 0-1 the count here on Soski as we are 1 pitch officially into game 1 of this NWAC championship tournament here at Delta Park. The 0-1 pitch from Carrazzo is just a bit upstairs, and it's 1-1. Alyssa Sosky, 5'2" sophomore from Ford, Washington. Base is a 1-1 count here from Carrazzo, and that one is just a bit outside, and it's 2-1. Bella Carrazzo has pitched 105.1 innings this season. She has allowed 42 hits, as now the 2-1 is on the way, and that one is in there for a called strike, and it's 2-2. Now some communication from the umpire, as that is overturned, actually. Third base umpire called it an illegal pitch, so it goes from a strike to a ball. So now the count is 3-1. Not sure what that was about, but the set, and that one is popped up, and that one will go out of play. So now it's 3-2. Count full here on Sosky. So 3 balls and 2 strikes now here on Alyssa Sosky. She bats a 382 average. And the pitch, swing and a foul back. So the count remains 3-2. We'll get to the other tournament teams in our first break. 14 of the 16 are the same that were in this tournament last year. Yakima Valley is actually one of 2 teams that are in this year that were not here last season. So now 3-2 on Sosky as Carrazzo fires, and that one is popped up over the first base dugout, and it gets out of play. Umpire was just given a new ball, so now she is good to go. Again, Katrina Butler is our home plate umpire for this game 1 of the NWAC Softball Championship Tournament. 3 other games going on right now, 4 of which will start later. As that one, swing and a miss, struck her out to begin the inning.
Now batting for the Yak.
Up 1 down for the Mount Hood Saints. As that brings up number 11, Glory Estabrook. .58 freshman from Port Orchard, Washington, with 1 out gone here in the top of the first. As that one is popped up way out of getting into the stands, as that one's going to bounce and hit the concession stand here at Delta Park. So 0-1 now the count here on Estabrook. Saints outfield playing a little bit in right now. And the 0-1 is just a bit outside, and it's 1-1. One ball, 1 strike here, the count on Estabrook. That's a 374. She dribbles that one right to Sarah Martin. Throw to first is there, and there's 2 gone. So a good little defensive play there at third base by Sarah Martin to get out number 2 here in the top of the first. Madison Kennedy will try to keep this happening alive for the Yaks. 2 up, 2 down so far for the Mount Hood Saints. And the first pitch from Carrazzo on the way is just a bit high, and it's 1-0. So much going on here at Delta Park. Looking forward to a fun weekend here of NWAC softball tournament action as the 1-0 is lifted out into left field, chasing after it, and it's going to get out of play. As it was Hope Burke trying to speed up and make the catch. She just could not get there quick enough, but luckily for the Saints, it bounces foul, and now it's 1-1. The 1 ball and 1 strike here, the count on Madison Kennedy. 5'9" sophomore from Ellensburg, Washington. I know somebody from Ellensburg. A friend of my sister's, actually. As that one is popped up. And the catch is made there at shortstop, and that will retire the side as we go to the bottom of the first. Still scoreless.
On the mound for the Yak, number 1, Claire DeBree, then catching number 2. Number 18, Avery Olson. Now batting for the Saints, number 7, center fielder, Ava Carroll.
Ava Carroll leads off here in the bottom of the first here for the Mount Hood Saints as she goes for the bunt, but pulls back, but it's a called strike. And now it's 0-1. We'll get to the field for the Yaks in just a second as Carroll takes the second pitch outside. So now it's 1 ball, 1 strike. As Carroll lifts that one into center field, it's going to drop for a base hit. She rounds first, stays there, and a leadoff single to start the bottom of the first for Ava Carroll.
Now batting for the Saints. It's the catcher, number 1, Izzy Bruckner.
Izzy Brockmiller, number 2 here for the Mount Hood Saints. With Ava Carroll on first, and the first pitch is taken in for a called strike, and now it's 0-1. Oh, and 1 pitch is down low for ball 1. Now it's 1-1. Ava Carroll, Izzy Brockmiller, Madison Walker, the starting 3. As that one is lifted to shortstop, play is made, cannot be flipped to second, and everyone is safe. As the diving play was made at second, but the ball was stuck in the glove, and everyone is safe with Ava Carroll on second, and now Izzy Brockmiller on first.
Number 33, the second baseman, Madison Walker.
So now here is Madison Walker with 2 on and nobody out here in the bottom half of the first inning. In a scoreless game 1 between the Yaks and the Saints, as her first pitch is just a bit upstairs, and it's 1-0. I don't think they charged that as an error to second base. It might have gone down as a hit as Madison Walker swings and misses, and now it's 1-1. One pitch to Madison Walker as to second. Here's the throw to first, and they'll get her as route number 1, but she advances the runners on third, and Izzy Brockmiller now on second, as that brings up number 44, Gina Allen. So 2 on here for the Saints with only 1 as Allen fouls the first pitch back, and it's 0-1. Gina Allen bats a .513, 77 hits this season, as she takes the second pitch down low for ball 1. So 1-1 the count here on Allen as the set, and that one is just a bit high and inside. 2 balls and a strike. Number 1, Jocelyn Simmons is on the plate, as that one is also just downstairs on Gina Allen, and now it's 3-1. 2 on, 1 out here, bottom 1 in a scoreless game. Saints in scoring. Allen dribbles that one into center field, and that's going to bring in some runs. Carroll comes into score. Here comes Brockmiller. She scores standing. It's a 2 RBI single for Gina Allen, and the Saints on the board first. It's 2-0. And I'll bring up Peyton Foreman, as it's pretty much a bases clearing single for Gina Allen. She remains at first with only 1 out, as the first pitch to Foreman is just outside, and it's ball 1. Correction on the pitcher, actually. It's not Simmons. I apologize for that. It's actually number 8, Claire DeVries. Count now goes to 2-0 on Foreman, and that one is just gets away from the catcher, as now stealing second on the pass ball is Allen. And now the count goes stealing second on the pass ball is Allen. And now the count goes to 3-0 here on Peyton Foreman. So 3 balls, no strikes here on Peyton Foreman. An early 2-0 lead here for the Mount Hood Saints in this first game of the NWAC Softball Championship, as that one is right down the middle for a called strike, and it's 3-1. Three balls, 1 strike. The pitch here is dribbled to first and get through into right field for a base hit, rounding third. So now runners on the corners for the Saints, first and third, still with only 1 out. 14, Jasmine Barella. Runner on third, that would be Gina Allen. Runner on first, that would be Peyton Foreman. Jasmine Barella here at the plate as she pops the first pitch up and out of play, and it's 0-1. Oh, and 1 the count here on Barella as she takes that one up high. 0-1. Barella bats a .440 as she takes that bottom of the first with only 1 out, as she is going to be made. Tagging up and scoring is Gina Allen to make it 3-0 Saints. Sacrifice fly there from Jasmine Barella, and now the lead here in the first. Catch was made out in center field by Alyssa Soski. So 2 down here in the bottom of the first, but the Saints already gotten a few runs. They lead 3-0 here in their first game of the tournament. The other game going on right now on field 4 is the 7-10 matchup, the 7 seed Treasure Valley Chukers and the number 10 seed Columbia Basin Hawks. Winner of that game gets the winner of this game, and the loser of that game gets the loser of this game. So just pay attention to what's going on over there. Good friend and fantastic public address announcer Albert Hensley is over on that field. So here's Hope Burke after a little meeting at the mound here for the Yaks. Saints lead 3-0 with 2 outs as Burke swings and misses at pitch number 1 for strike 1. Second pitch is up high. The set from DeVries fires, and that one is down low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and 1 here to Hope Burke, as that one is up high as well, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Saints looking to drive in at least one more run. They have a runner on second as Burke pops that one up, and the catch is made out at first base, as that catch is made by Madison Kennedy to retire the side. But the Saints get on the board in the bottom of the first, and after one, it's Saints 3 and Yaks 0.
Leading off the top of the second for the Yaks, it is number 24, designated player
Emma Stamp, Linnea Butler, and Mackenzie Taylor here in the second for the Yaks, as the Saints have a 3-0 lead after one. Here in game 1 of this NWAC softball championship tournament, as Carrazzo fires the first pitch, and that one is just a bit low for ball 1. These teams met 3 times during the regular season, Mount Hood winning all 3, and all games were won in 5 innings as they shut them out. As that one is just a bit up high as well, and it's 2 balls, no strikes to count here on Stamp. They won 8-0 and 10-0 back on February 25th, and they won 10-2 in the Yakima crossover, in Pasco, I should say, back on March 10th, as that pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 2-1. Two balls and a strike here, the count on Stamp. As Carrazzo sets, fires, and that one is just a bit outside, 3-1. Stamp bats a .330, 32 hits this season. As she pops that one up into right field and running after it and making the catch out in right field. Kaylee Davis for out number 1. So now that'll bring up Linnea Butler.
number 9, the third baseman, Linnea.
Butler bats a .318. She's got 35 hits this season. As Carrazzo sets with one down here in the top of the second, as that one is inside, but called for strike one. Saints looking to keep their unbeaten streak alive against the Yaks team as the 0-1 is lifted back and it's 0-2. One out here in the top of the second. Saints lead at 3-0 here at Field 2 at Delta Park. One of two that this team will have today. Opponent is still yet to be determined as that one is just a bit outside. And the count goes to 1-2. Mount Hood wins this game. They will get the winner of Columbia Basin and Treasure Valley. If they lose, they will get the loser of that game. And it doesn't matter if they win or lose. The second game will be at 3:30. As that pitch is just up high and the count now 2-2. Those are the only two games on the schedule today. Hoping to win at least one so we can come back here tomorrow. We made it to 2 days last year. Unfortunately, we fell in our third game on Friday. 2-2 pitch from Carrazzo is lifted out of play and on to field 3. Southwest Oregon, I believe, is playing on that field. I don't know who the other team is. I can look at the bracket right now, but that is actually the Southwest Oregon and Chemeketa game, actually. So two teams from the Southern Division we just interrupted because of a foul ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes here on Butler as that one again popped out, but the netting is going to save that one from going out of play. So we'll run it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes here in the top half of the second inning. Saints defense has really tightened up this year. We saw it in that top half of the first. They went 3 up, 3 down, as that pitch is just low, and that's going to make the count full. On Linnea Butler, as she tries to keep this at-bat alive. Carrazzo sets, fires, and it's fouled back, so we'll do it again. Look, was a swing and a miss, but it did get part of the bat, so she will get at least one more pitch with the count full here in the top half of the second. Here in this 2v15 matchup, Carrazzo sets, fire, swing, and a miss. Struck her out for 2 down. Second strikeout of the game for Bella Carrazzo, as that'll bring up pitcher Claire DeVries. As she bats a .305 with 29 hits this year, as her first pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1. No balls and a strike. The count here on DeVries as Carrazzo looks in the set. It's up and fires as that one is popped into center field, and making the catch at second base is Madison Walker to retire the side as we go to the bottom half of the second inning with the Mount Hood Saints still on top, 3-0. The three due up for the Saints, Sarah Martin, Kaylee Davis, and Bella Carrazzo, as we take a look at other matchups going around here at Delta Park. Of course, this is the 2 versus the 15 matchup, Mount Hood and Yakima. The 1v16 happens later today, 1 o'clock on field number 3. The Idaho, the Cardinals, going to be taking on the Chokers from Grays Harbor. Number 3 and number 14, like I said earlier, that is number 3, Southwest Oregon, and number 14, Chemeketa. That game currently going on field 3 right now. Do not know what the score is. 4 steps up to the plate. We will get to the other matchup as the first pitch from DeVries, strike, and it's 0-1. As that one is inside, so now the count 1-1 on Sarah Martin. One ball, one strike here to Sarah Martin as that one is up high. 2 balls and a strike. As Sarah Martin, that's a 383 with 40 hits this year as she takes that one in for a called strike, and it's 2-2. Two pitch as she dribbles or lifts that one out into right field, getting back out of here. Sarah Martin with a leadoff home run to start the second for the Saints, and they're on top 4-0. She got all of that one, and no chance out in right for Estabrook to make the catch as that one clears the fence. And a solo shot for Martin to start the second, and the Saints now have a 4-0 lead. Now we have a meeting at the mound. We have a new pitcher for the Yaks. Pitching now for the Yaks, number 10, Riley Ingram. The Saints now on top 4-0 off the solo home run from Sarah Martin, as she now knocks in her 6th of the season. Kaylee Davis waits as she is next on deck. Still nobody out as the Saints now have a 4-0 lead in the top half of the third. As now we take a look at the other matchups going on right now. We'll start with 5-12, 1 o'clock on field number 6. That is Spokane versus Everett. Number 6 versus 11 happens on field 5 right now, which is Wenatchee Valley versus Walla Walla. As the first pitch to Kaylee Davis is up high for ball 1. Number 7 and 10 is Treasure Valley, Columbia Basin, and number 8, 9 is Clackamas and Edmonds, as Davis fouls that one back, and then now it's 1-1. One ball, one strike, the count here on Kaylee Davis. 4-0 Saints as she takes that one up high for ball 2. Saints carrying a lot of momentum into this game as that one up high, 3 balls and a strike, the count now on Davis. The pitch in there for 3 balls, 2 strikes here to Kaylee Davis as she pops that one up over first base, and that Davis bats a .321, 9 hits this season. She's only had 28 at-bats this year. As she takes that next pitch and pops it out of play right between Southwest Oregon and Chemeketa. Now the umpire calling for a new ball as he thrown to the catcher. Now back to the pitcher. 3 balls and 2 strikes here on Kaylee Davis. 4-0 Saints here in the bottom of the second. Game number 1 of 2 for both these teams today. As that pitch is down in there for a called strike, and she strikes out looking. So 1 gone here in the bottom of the second as Kaylee Davis is struck out for the second time this season. So now back to the top of the lineup with Ava Carroll as that pitch is low and outside for ball 1. Low for ball 3. 3 balls on Ava Carroll. As that one is in there for a strike, and it's 3-1. Carroll pops that one up, but it's going to get out as it hits Mount Hood's dugout. And the count now full. Very close to making a catch. Was actually the shortstop, Mackenzie Taylor. As she was hustling a little bit quicker than the third base. As now we get a new ball. As now Carroll steps back into the box and is ready for a 3-2 pitch. With 1 out here in the bottom of the second, she'll take it, and she lifts it into left field for a base hit. 2 for 2 is Ava Carroll as she gets on first with a 1-out single.
Now batting for the Saints, number 1, and the catcher, Izzy Brockmiller.
So here is Izzy Brockmiller. She also had a hit back in the first inning. The play at second base where the catcher actually got it off the ground but could not get it out of her glove. So runner on first with 1 out as she goes for the bunt but misses for strike 1. Owen won the count here on Brockmiller. She lifts that one up into center field, and the catch is going to be made. Carroll's got to run back to first, and she will make it back safely. So 2 down here in the bottom of the second as the catch is made out in center field by Alyssa Soski, as that brings up Madison Walker. Walker grounded out to the second base player in the last inning as she lifts that one up into right field and backing up and making the catch out in right field. That is number 2, Grace Estabrook. So the Saints get a leadoff home run from Sarah Martin, but cannot really do anything after that. We are at the end of 2 here on field 2 at Delta Park. Saints 4, Yaks nothing. Let's learn a little bit about the 16 teams in the tournament. Number 1, the North Idaho Cardinals, who were in this tournament as the number 3 seed last year. Located from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, finished the season 40-2 overall And one of those losses actually came against the Mount Hood Saints back in a tournament back in Pasco. And they are 28-0, undefeated in conference play. They finished first in the Eastern Division. As number 2 is the Mount Hood Saints. They ended 41-4, 24-4 in conference play. Southern Division champion Bay ended 34-11 overall in the conference. They ended 3rd in the Southern Division, only behind Lower Columbia, who is at number 4 from Kelso. They ended 38-11, 22-6 in conference play. Those are the top 4 teams in this tournament. And if all goes according to plan, those might be the final 4 teams we see in the tournament. Leading off here in the top half of the 3rd for the Yaks is number 23, Mackenzie Taylor, as she takes her first pitch up high for ball 1. Still remains on the mound for the Saints. We'll have a 4-0 lead going into this 3rd inning, as that one is in there for a called strike, and it's 1-1. Saints have gone 3 up and 3 down in the first 2 innings. Have not allowed a hit yet. Taylor looks to change that as she faces a 1-1 count. Carrazzo sets, fires, as that one is popped into center field. On it is Carroll, and she's got it for out number 1. So that brings up number 18, Avery Olison, catcher for the Yaks. 1 up, 1 down here for the Saints in the top of the 3rd. They lead 4-0. Adding to their lead from that Sarah Martin home run in the 3rd, as that is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Saw the Saints a few times this year. Team has looked really good. They won every single game I was at, as that next pitch is inside for ball 1. They had 4 losses in the West Oregon and Lower Columbia. They split the series at home and on the road against both teams. Again, they're 3-0 against these Yakima Valley Yaks, as that one lifted to second. Walker's got it. She throws to first, and there's 2 down.
Now batting for the Yaks, number 2, the right fielder,
Grace Estabrook trying to keep this inning alive here for Yakima. 2 up, 2 down here in the 3rd so far for the Saints, as Carrazzo looks to set. And she fires. That one is in there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Nobody on, 2 outs. 0-1 the count here to Estabrook as Carrazzo fires it inside, and it's 0-2. Just caught that inside edge. Seems to be the umpire's favorite spot so far in this game. Seen a lot of those pitches on the inside called for strikes. As now Carrazzo ready the 0-2, and the pitch is down low for ball 1. Estabrook bats a .231. She has 6 hits this year, as she looks to maybe get a 7th. 1-2 is up high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Saints trying to keep up their defense. Have not allowed a base runner yet. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count here on Estabrook. And that one is just a bit high in the count full. So from 0-2 down, 3 pitches later, the count full. Three balls, 2 strikes. as Carrazzo fires it inside, struck her out. And again, it's that inside corner that the umpire likes to see, as the Saints once again here in the third go 3 up and 3 down, and we go to the bottom of the third, and the Saints have a 4-0 lead.
Leading off for the Saints, number 44, shortstop, Gina Allen.
Gina Allen lifts one into left, and it's gone. Back-to-back innings. The Saints start the inning with a home run, and this time it's Allen, and it's 5-0 Saints.
Now batting for the Saints, first baseman number 26, Peyton Foreman.
Peyton Foreman next here for the Saints. Hard to top that as she lifts that one into center field, and the catch is made, diving at the fence. What a catch out in center field by Satsuki as she collapses into the fence, but she's got it, and there's one away. What a start to this bottom half of the third. Allen gets it going with a solo shot, but then Satsuki robs Foreman, as that'll bring up Jasmine Barella, as now time is called by the umpire. Coach Hendrickson making her way to home plate. So one down here in the bottom of the third. Saints now lead at 5-0. Coach Hendrickson having a discussion with home plate umpire Katrina Butler. And now the umpires are going to go into a discussion. I'm not sure what the discussion is about. Not sure maybe if something that should have been a home run. It was caught just before she collapsed into the fence. Had it dropped, I think it still would have been in play. I don't think it would have been over the fence. The far fence is 300 yards or 300 feet, but the fence is, I believe, about 250. So after discussion, the umpires still make the ruling that it was an out. So the catch was made by Satsuki out in center field, and she kind of just puts her hands up, celebrating to her teammates afterwards, saying, "Hey, look at what I got." So could have been back-to-back home runs, but Foreman is robbed, as that now brings up Jasmine Barella with one gone here in the bottom of the third, as that one is inside but called for a ball. I think it was just because it was a little bit high as well. We know the umpire has been liking that inside corner, but that one was just a bit high as well, so it's ball one. And that one outside, count goes to 2-0. Sarah Martin with a solo to start the bottom of the second, and now Gina Allen with a solo shot to start the bottom of the third. That one in there for a strike, and it's 2-1 on Barella. And the Saints have a lot of momentum going in this game. And they have had 9 up for the Yaks, 9 outs already, as that pitch is outside and the count goes to 3-1. Barella waits as she lifts that one up, and that one's going to get way out of here, but it's foul as that one goes over the left field fence, but way out of play, and the count full. Chance coming from the Mount Hood dugout as the 3-2 is lifted into left field, dropping for a base hit, and it gets past the left fielder. Barella's going to go to second, and she stays there standing, and it's a one-out double for Jasmine Barella.
Now batting, number 11, left fielder, Hope Burke.
Hope Burke with now a runner on second with only one gone here in the bottom half of the third, and the Saints with a 5-0 lead over the Yaks. First pitch to Burke is outside for ball one. The chance of Hope Burke's name rain from the dugout here at third base as the 1-0 swing and a miss, 1-1. One ball, one strike here to Burke as she takes that one in for ball two. Runner on second, that's Jasmine Barella. Pitch to Burke, lifted up and out of play. So now the count 2-2. Burke, a 374 average, 40 hits this season. She flew out back in the first. She lifts that one into left field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Rounding third is Barella. She's going to come in to score. Burke is going to go to second. Now rounding second. She's going to go to third and stay there. A little bit of fielding errors from the Yaks. What turns into a triple for Hope Burke. And the Saints add one more as Jasmine Barella comes in to score, and it's 6-0. Yeah, starting to slip here as now they have a meeting at the mound. Sarah Martin, batter up next. And again, she had that solo shot to begin the bottom of the second. So she is 1 for 1. And that was on the fourth pitch. Only one out here in the bottom of the third. Saints with a 6-0 lead now over Yakima Valley. First pitch to Sarah Martin, down low for ball one. Hope Burke on third in scoring position, trying to continue this lead for the Mount Hood Saints, as that one looked exactly the same as the first, and it's the exact same result, ball number two. Saints 6, Yaks nothing. The pitch is in there for a strike, and now it's 2-1. Two balls, one strike here to Martin as she lifts that one up back onto field three. Actually, it's not going to be enough to get on the field three. In between the fields as that one goes out of play. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to count now here on Sarah Martin, as she looks to drive in another run here for the Mount Hood Saints. Pitch on the way, lifted into right field, getting back, and it's caught again! Sarah Martin, back to back! 8-0 Saints, and Sarah Martin 2 for 2 with 2 home runs into right field. Someone needs to check her bat. So now we have another pitching change for Yakima Valley. It's going to be number 6, Madison Morrison. Actually, it's going to be number 11, Glory Estabrook. So Sarah Martin, 2 at-bats and 2 home runs as she just pours in this Mount Hood lead. 8-0 here in the bottom half of the third. Let's get to the next 4 for the tournament. Number 5 is the Spokane Sasquatch from Spokane, Washington. They were in this tournament as the number 13 seed last year. They finished with a record of 26-12, second in the Eastern Division. They had an 18-10 conference record. Number 6 is the Wenatchee Valley Knights. They were in this tournament as the 14 seed last year from Wenatchee, Washington. They finished third in the East with a record of 28-14, 18-10 in conference play. 7 is the Treasure Valley Chukers, as that game is going on right now on field 4. Once again, the winner of that game will likely get the Mount Hood Saints, assuming they can hold this lead. They were in this tournament as the number 9 seed last year from Ontario, Oregon. They finished 4th in the Eastern Division with a record of 26-20, 18-10 in conference play. Number 8 is the runner-up from last year, the Clackamas Cougars from Clackamas, Oregon. They were the number 4 seed in this tournament last year. They finished 4th in the Southern Division behind Mount Hood, Lower Columbia, and Southwest Oregon. 25-17 was their overall record, with a conference record of 16-12. Number 9 is the Edmonds Triton. They were the 11 seed last year in this tournament. They're from Linwood, Washington. They finished 1st in the Northern Division with a record of 26-12, 19-13 in conference play. We'll get to the rest when we have a break, but now it's Kaylee Davis as she takes the first pitch down low for ball 1. Sarah Martin, absolutely phenomenal. 2 back-to-back home runs as Davis takes ball 2 down low. And Sarah Martin now responsible for 3 of the 8 runs that Mount Hood has now gotten in this first game of the tournament. 2-0 the count on Kaylee Davis, and that one is inside for a called strike. Again, it's that inside corner that the umpire loves so much, and it's 2-1. As that one is to shortstop. Throw to first is there, and Kaylee Davis grounds out to the shortstop for out number 2. And the Yaks trying to get out of this inning, giving up 3 runs. So now we go back to the top of the lineup with Ava Carroll. 2 for 2 with 2 singles, as she looks to make some more contributions. Done a lot already as she takes her pitch into left field. Another base hit for Ava Carroll, and it's a 2-out single to put her on first. So that'll bring up Izzy Brockmiller with a runner on, but 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Saints lead this game now 8-0 off the 2-run shot, I should say, from Sarah Martin earlier in this inning. Brockmiller takes ball 1 up high. Ava Carroll stays at first. 1-0 the count here on Brockmiller. The pitch is she pulled back the bunt, but is called for a strike, and it's 1-1. Pitch was right down the middle. Went for the bunt, pulled back at the last second. Now has a ball and a strike. Next pitch on the way is right down Broadway, and it's 1-2. Saints looking to add maybe one more here before their inning comes to a close. Ava Carroll quite a distance away, and now she's going to go to second and safe. So the throw there did not beat her. She stays at second safely and now puts her in scoring position with 2 gone here in the bottom of the third. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count here on Brockmiller. The pitch. Swing and a miss. She strikes out swinging, and that will end the third inning. But the Saints add 3 more as we go to the fourth. It's Saints 8 and Yaks nothing.
Champion has a ring to it. Herc Jones is the official championship partner of the NWAC. Every season has a story. Let Herc Jones help you celebrate.
We were just at number 9, the Edmonds Tritons. Number 10 is the Columbia Basin Hawks. They were in this tournament as the 7 seed last year. They played the Mount Hood Saints in a matinee Friday game last season in which Mount Hood won that game 8-3 over on field number 3. They finished 6th in the Eastern Division with a record of 20-26, 8-20 in conference play. They're from Pasco, Washington, which I actually drive through a couple of times on my way to Moscow, Idaho, which is where I was going to school at the University of Idaho. But it's good to be back just in time for the Mount Hood softball here at the NWAC softball tournament at Delta Park. Number 11 is the Walla Walla Warriors. They were the 6th seed last year. They played Mount, who lost that one 5 innings to end their season. They, of course, are from Walla Walla, Washington. They finished fifth in the Eastern Division with a record of 20-23, 11-17 in conference play. Number 12 is the Ever Trojans, and we'll get to them momentarily as we go back to the top of the lineup here with Sasky leading off for the Yaks. 9 up, 9 down for the Saints so far. 1-1. So Alyssa Sasky, the 5'2 sophomore from Ford, Washington, bats and throws right-handed. As now she faces an 0-1 count from Bella Carrazzo. Infield remains the same for the Saints. As now we get the 0-1 pitch from Carrazzo, as that one is just a bit outside, ball 1. We are in the 4th inning here on field 2 at Delta Park. This game 1 of the NWAC softball championship tournament. Mount Hood leads it 8-0 as that one is lifted into left field, and it is foul as it went over the fence. But it was just on the other side of that left field line. And now the count 1-2. Could have sparked some momentum in the Yaks dugout. But unfortunately for Sasky, it was just a bit to the left. So she will have to go back. Now with a 1-2 count. Saints still have not allowed a hit in this game. And they look to continue that streak. As Carrazzo sets, fires, as that one is down low, and the count now 2-2. On deck is Estabrook. But we'll see how Sasky will finish. As she takes a 2-2 upstairs, and the count now full. As now the infield comes into Carrazzo a little bit. But now backs up. Carrazzo looks down the line, sets, and fires the pitch. And that one is just a bit low. And a leadoff walk to start the 4th for the Yaks. So Carrillo walks her. And that is her 98th walk of the season. As that brings up Glory Estabrook. Nobody gone here in the top half of the 4th. Now a runner on first for the Yaks. It's their first base runner of the game. as that one popped up way out of play, going to get to the concession stand. And now an 0-1 count. No balls and a strike. Sasky on first. Estabrook tries to help more with that as Carrazzo sets, fires, and that one is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to count here on Estabrook. Carrazzo ready and fires. Swing and a miss. Struck her out for out number 1 as she faced nothing but strikes. 3 straight pitches to strike her out, and there's one away here in the top of the 4th. That'll bring up Madison Kennedy. She's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. Or sorry, she's 0 for 1 with a ground out. As she looks to help the Yaks here with a runner on first, only 1 out as she lifts that one behind the plate out of play. And it's 0-1. Carrazzo about to fire her 52nd pitch of the game. It's an 0-1 count with 1 out. As that one just a bit outside. Throw to second, and a diving play is made by Allen at shortstop so that the ball would not go into the outfield. But now the runner is on second. That's Sasky. She makes it to second on the stolen base. Now puts her in scoring position with a 1-1 count here on Kennedy. One ball, 1 strike, the count. The pitch from Carrazzo is just a bit outside, but called for strike. And now it's 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on second. That's Sasky. Carrazzo looks and now fires as that one put out of play. So we'll do it again. It looked like Burke may have had it for a second. It was so close, but just out of her reach. And the Yaks on the board. Scoreless, no more. Saints still have a lead, though, by 6. It's 8-2. So batting next here is Emma Stamp. 0 for 1 as she flew out to right field back in the 2nd inning. Only 1 out here in the top half of the 4th. A bases clearing home run for Madison Kennedy is now the first pitch on Stamp is down low for ball 1. Want to know the count? Carrazzo looks. Now sets and fires. As that one lifted past Madison Walker at second base into center field. Carroll's got it. She throws to Madison Walker as rounding first and staying there is Stamp. So the Yaks starting to have a little bit of life here in this first game. A 2-run shot from Madison Kennedy and now a 1-out single. Stamp. As that will bring up Linnea Butler to try to continue this momentum here for Yakima Valley. Out. And the pitch is down low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes the count here on Butler. Carrazzo looks and fires. And that one is up high for ball 2. Two balls, no strikes to count here on Butler with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Carrazzo with the set and the fire as that one is lifted out to Burke in left field. Going to drop for a base hit. Rounding second, staying there is Stamp. And another 1 out single here for Linnea. Butler puts 2 runners on for Yakima Valley with only 1 down here in the top of the 4th. So a couple of hits now for the Yaks. We have a new batter, number 6, Madison Morrison.
Number 6, Madison Morrison.
As now we have a meeting at the mound for the Saints. Umpire having a discussion with the head coach of Yakima Valley, Jason Weatherly, putting Madison Morrison in the place of Claire DeVries. Carrazzo stays on the mound for the Saints. They still hold on an 8-2 lead here in the top half of the 4th. As now head coach Jason Weatherly now having a word with home plate umpire Katrina Butler once again. Making a change in the lineup to her as well. We'll finish with the number 12 seed 11 Everett Trojans. They finished second in the Northern Division with a record of 24-10, 16-6 in conference play. They were the 10 seed in this tournament last year. As now we have Madison Morrison coming to the plate. So now we have a pinch runner at second base. It's going to be Jocelyn Simmons. Butler still on first with 1 out here as that one popped up and foul, and it's 0-1 the count here on Morrison. Her first appearance at the plate today. Trying to keep the momentum alive here for Yakima Valley after getting a couple of runs and now with a couple of runners on base. An 0-1 count, and the pitch outside. 2 balls, 1 ball, 1 strike. Carrazzo once again in the set. Saints defense playing a little bit up. Outfield warming up right now. They will be on this field next. Is that one? Walker makes the catch, and the throw back to second is not there, but there's 2 down. So Hope Burke will come into the infield to field that ball. But Madison Walker makes a leaping catch at second base for out number 2. As it was a 2-run shot for Madison Kennedy. So now here is Taylor as she takes that first pitch outside for ball number 1. Carrazzo looks once again with a 1-0 count, and the pitch dribbled foul, and it's 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. The count here to Mackenzie Taylor. Soski on second. Butler on Morrison on first as that one is inside. Ball number 2. Yak still down by 6. As Carrazzo looks to fire again, as that one popped up out of play, and that one's going to get onto field 3 again. The third time we have disrupted the game over on field 3 because of a foul ball. So now the count 2-2, and the Saints are a pitch away from getting out of a major jam here, as they've already given up 2 runs here in the top of the 4th. They try to end this half inning and get a couple of runs back. Carrazzo with a 2-2, and the pitch, swing and a miss, struck her out. And that'll retire the side here in the top of the 4th, but not before the Yaks get on the board. They score 2, and as we go to the bottom of the 4th, it's Saints 8 and Yaks 2.
Number 33, second baseman, Madison.
Madison Walker will have a couple of runs in the top half of this inning as they try to get back. Walker lifts that first pitch up into right field, coming in to make the catch out in right field, as that catch is going to be made by Grace Estabrook for out number 1.
Now batting the shortstop, number 44, Gina Allen.
Gina Allen is 2 for 2 with a single and a home run, as she lifts that one to third base, throw to first in time, and 2 pitches into this bottom of the 4th. The Yaks have 2 down. But now Pate Foreman with 2 batters gone here in the bottom of the 4th. Very quick. A little bit of dirt kicked up on that pitch. Oh, 1 pitch is lifted into center field. That one's back at the fence, and the catch is going to be made by Sosky. 3 up and 3 down, and already we head to the 5th. Saints still holding an 8-2 lead.
At the end of 5.
So for the first time in this game, the Saints go 3 up and 3 down, as we have the matchup coming up next on this field at 1 o'clock approximately is the number 4 Lower Columbia taking on number 13 Douglas. I think that is Douglas warming up out there. They are the only team in this tournament to come from outside of the United States. They are located in Vancouver. Actually, the next team on the list as the 13th seed. They were the 8th seed in this tournament last year. They finished 3rd in the Northern Division with a record of 22-10, 16-6 in conference play. Number 14 is the Chemeketa Storm. They were the 16th seed, the last seed in this tournament last year, from Salem, Oregon. They finished 5th in the Southern Division with a record of 17-25, 12-6 in conference play. Number 15 are these Yakima Valley Yaks, who are trying to stay alive as they go up 3 down on the Mount Hood Saints with an 8-2 deficit to overcome in the next 3 innings or so. They come from Yakima, Washington. They finished 7th in the Eastern Division with a record of 10-32, 6-22 in conference play. And finally, the number 16 team in this tournament, they were also not in this tournament last year, the Grays Harbor Chokers from Aberdeen, Washington. They finished 6th in the Southern Division with a record of 7-35, 7-21 in conference play. Leading off here in the top half of the fifth is Avery Olison. As the first pitch, Carrazzo still remains on the mound. Lifts that one and cannot make the catch, Walker. It goes into right field. And it's a leadoff single for Olison to start the fifth. It was so close to getting into the glove of Madison Walker. Just out of her reach. So Grace Estabrook now trying to keep things alive for the Yaks as they are still down by 6 runs. 8-2 in the top of the fifth with a runner on first and a called strike to begin the at-bat. So Estabrook now with an 0-1 count, up high, and it's 1-1. Carrazzo ready. About to fire her 73rd pitch. And it's in there, but outside for ball 2. Olison on first, 2-1 the count here on Estabrook. The pitch fouled back, and we'll do it again. It's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to count here on Grace Estabrook. Carrazzo ready, sets, and fires. Swing and a miss. Struck her out, 1 away.
Now batting for Yakima.
As we return to the top of the lineup here in the top half of the 5th inning in this first of 2 for both these teams today. Winner of this game gets the winner of Treasure Valley and Columbia Basin. Loser of this game gets the loser of that game. First pitch to Sasky, swing and a miss. Olison is the only runner on base. She's on first. There's one out here in the top half of the 5th as the 0-1 swing and a miss, 0-2. Carrazzo with her 78th pitch upcoming. It's the third pitch of this at bat, and it's popped to first, and the catch is no, it cannot be made. No, it is. The catch is made by Madison Walker. It looked like it might have hit the ground at first, but it was in. Nice diving catch by Madison Walker to get the second out of the half inning. As that one lifted out into right field, Davis is on it, and she's. But they get 3 outs before giving up any more runs. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Still 8-2, Saints.
NWAC fans, be sure to check out the NWAC on Facebook, X, and Instagram using the handle @NWAC Sports. Also visit NWACsports.org for the most up-to-date information on schedules, scores, stats, and more. NWACsports.org. Please don't forget to check out the merchandise. From fine design T-shirts, sweatshirts, and more. Everything is fully customizable. Get your tournament gear today. Supplies are limited. See the merchandise tent or shop online at nwacstores.com.
Jasmine Barella, Hope Burke, Sarah Martin on deck for the Mount Hood Saints as they look to continue here in the bottom half of the fifth.
Number 14, Jasmine.
I never remember if it's 8 or 10 runs you need to lead by to end this in 5. But if the Saints get a couple of runs here in the 5th inning, that could very much be it for game number 1. So Barella will lead off. She's 1 for 2 as she takes the first pitch down low for ball 1. 1 for 2 with a fly out to center field and a single as she looks to give Mount Hood a little bit of new life here after they gave up 2 runs in the top of the 4th. She takes that one in for a strike. It's 1-1. Barella now with a 1-1 count, leading off the bottom of the 5th as she lifts that one right to shortstop for out number 1. And it's a line drive catch right to Mackenzie Taylor. So she lines out. That brings up Hope Burke.
Number 11, Hope.
Burke is 1 for 2 as well. Flew out to first base and then had a triple as she takes the first pitch in for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Burke with pitch number 2 in there for a strike, and now it's 0-2. We had a batter earlier that had an 0-2 count, but ended up straight balls. As Burke swings and misses, goes 1-2-3 for out number 2.
Now batting for the Saints, number 9, the third baseman, Sarah Martin.
2 for 2 with 2 home. What more can you say about that? Will she do it again? First pitch down low for ball 1. It's so hard to predict what Sarah Martin will do after getting 2 straight home runs. As she 2 down and away. You can kind of feel the intensity of her at bat, knowing what she's for. Sarah Martin with a 2-0 count. And she takes that one just a bit low as well. 3 balls, no strikes. It might be a walker. You don't want to allow her to pop another one over the fence. Martin, 3-0 count. Pitch on the way. In for a strike. It's 3-1. She was waiting for that perfect pitch. The home run on her first at bat on the 4th pitch. On the second at bat, it was the 7th pitch. Now the 5th pitch is fouled right back at us. So now the count full on Sarah Martin. End the inning. So Sarah Martin, after getting back-to-back home runs, could not get bat on the ball. He strikes out as we go to the 6th. Saints 8, Yaks 2. Have an update on the other game right now, thanks to fantastic public address announcer and good friend Albert Hensley. His game going on right now over there is the 7-10 matchup. Winner of that game gets the winner of this game. Loser of that game gets the loser of this game, as I've mentioned before. Number Treasure Valley has a 7-6 lead against the 10 seed Columbia Basin, so got a nail biter over there. So if the Saints can hold on and win this game, they will get the winner of that one. Yaks will get the loser of that one. So now here is Madison Kennedy to lead things off. She had a home run back in the fourth to get the Yaks on the board. Carrazzo and the pitch, center, and she has done it again. Madison Kennedy, a solo shot to start the sixth, and it's 8-3 now in favor of the Saints. Sarah Martin had back-to-back home runs, and now Madison Kennedy has back-to-back home runs as she cuts into this Mount Hood lead a little bit more, as that'll bring up Emma Stamp to try to keep momentum alive here for the Yaks with 6 outs to go, still down by 5. 8-3 Mount Hood. Here's the first pitch to Stamp, and that one is up high for ball number 1. It's only the second home run of the game for the Yaks. Both have been hit by Madison Kennedy. 1-0 pitch on Stamp, up high for ball 2. The Saints trying to keep their lead. They still lead by 5 here in the 6th. 2-0 pitch inside for a called strike, and it's 2-1. Now we have word from the third base umpire, Kenny Mitchell. Another illegal pitch. So now it's 3-0, the count here on Stamp. That's the second time Carrazzo's been called for an illegal pitch. As that one lifted into right field, Davis is on it, but it's going to drop before she gets it. So now, as Carrazzo has a meeting with her teammates at the mound, but looks like Hendrickson is going to come out, make a change here. And Carrazzo might be done as we take a look here. Now both coaches coming over to have word with the umpire. Carrazzo is done, in fact. As lineup changes are getting passed over to the home plate umpire. Camille Schmidt now on the mound for the Saints. Their hit was given up to the Yaks. Puts Emma Stamp on first. Linnea Butler still leading by 5, 8-3 in favor of the Mount Hood Saints. As now Camille Schmidt comes to the mound for the Mount Hood Saints. Comes off the mound. Carrazzo just had under 100 pitches. Gave up 3 runs, 2 home runs, a couple of singles, walked a batter. Getting some much needed rest now, as I assume she will probably be very important to have in game 2. Whether that game will be against Columbia Basin or against Treasure Valley. Camille Schmidt's about to fire her first pitch of the game to Linnea Butler. Nobody gone here in the top of the 6th. An 8-3 lead for the Saints. First pitch on the way down low for ball 1. Butler 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single as she takes that pitch down low for 2 balls, no strikes. Two 2-0 the count here on Butler as Schmidt fires as that one swung on and missed. And it's 2-1. Two balls and a strike the count here on Linnea Butler. Fourth pitch for Schmidt. In there for a strike. It's 2-2. Six outs away are the Saints from advancing to round 2 with a win. Swing and a miss. 5 to go. Struck out Butler. And now the Saints are 5 outs away from the win. So now that's Madison Morrison next. With 1 gone, 1 on. Here in the top of the 6th. Saints still have a 5-run lead here in game 1. Schmidt fires, and that one is fouled back, and it's 0-1, the count here on Morrison. No balls and a strike here, the count on Maddie Morrison. Camille Schmidt's in the pitch. Fouled back, and it's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to count here on Morrison as she lifts that one up into right field. Davis is going back. Davis cannot make the catch. Rounding second, going to third as Stamp is safe at third, and it's a 1-out double for Maddie Morrison. So the Yaks will not go away just yet. So that brings up Mackenzie Taylor. She's 0 for 2 with a fly out to center and a strikeout. Runners on second and third. Only 1 gone here in the top of the 6th. Saints holding on to an 8-3 lead. Taylor dribbled, and that fair ball, and the Saints are going to leave it, so that's going to load the bases with only 1 out. It was a short little hit, bouncing very slowly. Here's Avery Olesen trying to drive in a few more runs. Bases are loaded now for the Yaks with only 1 away here in the top of the 6th. So obviously the play for the Saints here is at home. Camille Schmidt's in the windup as that one is in for a called 0-1. The count here on Olesen. As that one is tipped back foul, and it's 0-2. Strike Yakima. 1 out, top 6. No balls, 2. Schmitz fires, and that one's out of play. So once again, it's 0-2, and Olsen will have to wait 1 more pitch to see if we'll have 2 outs or if we'll have more runs. No balls, 2 strikes. Remains the count here on Avery Olsen. The pitch. Dribble to shortstop. Throw home. Is there. They get the runner at home. 2 down. So a fielder's choice, shortstop to home, will be the second out of the inning. So Gina Allen makes the throw to home. 2 down here in the top of the 6th as that first pitch is in for a strike, and it's 0-1. Saints could get out of a huge jam here as they did in the 5th, having 2 on, but now they have all 3. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Morrison is the runner on third. Taylor is on second. Olison is on first. No balls and 2 strikes. Now Schmidt's a pitch away from getting out of a jam as she pitches that one up high. And now it's 1-2. Brockmiller with a clutch catch there to make sure it doesn't go over her head. And runners come in on the pass ball. 1-2 the count here on Estabrook. Schmidt's in the windup. She fires. Swing and a miss. And huge jam avoided as the Saints only give up the solo shot at the beginning of the inning to Madison Kennedy. Kaylee Davis will lead things off here for the Saints in the bottom of the 6th, leading 8-3. Her first pitch is down and away for ball 1. Saints 3, and they add some insurance runs as Davis lifts that one into right center, Brooke, and she's got it for out number 1. So now we return to the top of the lineup with Ava Carroll. 3 for 3, 3 singles as she takes first pitch outside for ball 1. Singled back in the first, second, and third. Has not been back since as she dribbles that one to second base. Throw to first is there for out number 2 as it just beats her by a split second. And there's 2 gone here in the bottom of the 6th. So that will now bring up Izzy Brockmiller as she tries to keep this bottom half of the inning alive for the Saints. Brockmiller is 1 for 3 with a single, fly out, and strikeout. Her first pitch bunted and almost in the glove of catcher Avery Olison, but she just could not reach that one, and it's strike 1 on Brockmiller. 2 up, 2 down so far for the Saints here in the bottom of the 6th. Strongly here in the late stages as the 0-1 pitch is in for a called strike, and now it's 0-2 on Izzy Brockmiller. Saints themselves this year as that one popped out of play, and we'll do it again. Brockmiller once again facing an 0-2 count. (0-2) here on Izzy Brockmiller. The pitch, dribbled the shortstop, throw to first. There in time. Oh, it is. It beats her out, and that's going to end the 6th inning. So now the Saints still 3 outs away from opening this tournament with a win as we go to the 7th. Saints still up.
Hood 8, Yakima.
Top of the lineup coming up for the Yakima Valley Yaks as they try to save themselves from going down early. As we have Sosky, Estabrook, and Kennedy on deck. Alyssa Sosky, Glory Estabrook, and Madison Kennedy will try to keep the Yak season alive. Their season won't end with a loss. It's a double elimination tournament. But they will go down to the consolation bracket. They will play on field 3 if the result holds against get an update. So here we go as the Saints 3 outs away. Opening game win. And moving on to round 2. Game 2 will be at 3:30 over on field 5 if they can hold the result. First pitch on its way. They put a ball up there. I'm not sure why. As that one up high, there was a ball, so now it's 2 balls, 1 strike as that pitch is up high. Another pitching violation for the Saints. 3rd time that's happened to them. As that one lifted, Madison Walker gonna make the catch for out number 1. As she was diving in the field, the ball lands right in her glove, and the Saints now 2 outs away. Yaks. Gloria Estabrook. Saints 2 outs from the opening round dub. Defense has really tightened up here. Fouls that one back. 0-1 the count. Schmitz fires, and that one lifted into left field, but that one's going to get way out of play. So now it's 0-2. So 0-2 the count here on Estabrook. 1 away here in the top of the 7th. Saints looking to open this tournament with a win. As that pitch is just a bit outside, and the count goes to 2-2. 1-2, I'm sorry. That was only ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Estabrook. Down the pitch. Lifted. Martin's got it at 3rd. The throw to 1st is there, and the Saints now an out away.
Number 3, first baseman,
Madison Kennedy, her last 2 at-bats were home runs. As she looks to be potentially the last batter the Saints have to face in this game. The outfield is backing up. They know what she can do as the first pitch to her is in the dirt for ball 1. Saints 8-3. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. Saints trying to open this tournament, unlike last year with that loss to Lower Columbia. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. They had a 7-3 loss against the Red Devils. They had to go down to the consolation bracket, beat Spokane in the night game. Played 3 games on Friday. Here in the first game today, they look to get the win, and now they are a strike away as that one's in there for a called strike 2. Camille Schmitz is a pitch away from ending it, sending the Saints on in the winner's bracket. To field 5 at 3:30, fouled away, and we'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count here on Madison Kennedy. Camille Schmitz, the Saints can feel the anticipation building. As the pitch is lifted, Madison Walker is going to field. She's going to throw to first, and the Mount Hood Saints win the first game of the NWAC Softball Championship. Seed Yakima Yaks by a final of 8-3, and will move on in the winner's bracket to a game at 3:30 on field 5 against the winner of Columbia Basin and Treasure Valley. 8-3 your final between 15 seed Yakima and 2 seed Mount Hood. Don't go anywhere, because later we will have the game for you from field 5 here at Delta Park. Saints open the tournament with a big win.